Good afternoon. This is Ken at Tortoise Capital with a speed run of the boot camp portfolio for December 21st. Merry Christmas. We'll go through these that are grouped by first the monthly spring. You'll notice that they're also positive usually on the weekly summer and daily summer. We'll see what it looks like when Japan's goes from daily summer to daily fall and what that decay of signal strength looks like. And then we'll rotate through some weekly summers and daily summers. These are all making money, positive swings. These daily summers have started off as daily springs a while back and are now into the summer, so we're going to see what that's usually like turnarounds. We'll look at a couple opportunities in here for day trading, and then some defensive plays, and then some that don't really, they don't have a condition yet on the weekly and monthly because it's too like sideways. It doesn't really stand out for a clear season. And then we'll take a look at Wiz and unpack that one. There was no change from the components from last week, but so everything's looking pretty good there. Winners continue to win. So EFA, the re-entry here, still working well. I like the little rebound and recovery. Tesla, I just don't understand why it's going up, but we bought the emerging dragon. I moved my stop up to like a 2-day low. Doesn't make sense, but doesn't have to. Win, 1 position, 2 position, breakout, and working. Off we go. Greens across the board. I think I'll put my stop here. Cut is timber. Timber's working from here. Got my stop up probably 2-day low, like that. Emerging markets broke out from the continuation pattern here in the spring. It's now the summer. Moving my stop up to the skin of the dragon. Mexico entered, moved the stop to here like a 3-day low. This is Japan, so this is weekly. Let's scope that out. So this was weekly, or I'm sorry, monthly spring, and now it's starting to run out of gas up in here. So that's what that looks like. My stop would be here from an entry down here. Devon Energy. So this was a weekly spring and has now moved into daily summer. As soon as the chart comes up. Okay, so Devon Energy is working. Moving my stop to here. I'll add a second position on the far side of the 200. And just because it's got to get through that hump of the dragon. So we're marching that one up. Simon Property Group. I like the consolidation here, and it's crossed the 270, so I'll buy the breakout from here. I'll go short from there. Target 1, 2, and 3. So that's weekly spring. If we looked at that, let's shift to the weekly real quick. Oops. Yeah, you can see we're on a weekly spring, and I'm going to buy that breakout essentially. Okay. So that's relatively early in his life cycle, and I'm betting that this support's going to hold around like 147-ish, and then the last 2 times it's moved up about that far. So those are my targets. Home Depot is working. That made the turn, held the 200. The 30 is turned. I'm looking to add a second position if it gets through the 90, but this is, tentative because the 90 is still sloping down. So I'm playing this stop pretty tight right in here because I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to lock in that gain. Natural gas, I like the fact that it's made the turn. This is like, I already bought this on Friday on that breakthrough. That's an owl entry. And so I'm targeting here and here. I wouldn't add a second position to get to here, but you can see how fast that can move once it does make those turns. Alcoa. Now we're into some weekly summers and lots of daily summers, so these should all be pretty strong. So entry after on an owl and working. I'll just keep that for a while. Caterpillar. Working. Stop is here. Maybe lock in again. So if this was my entry right here, so that's a no lose plus dinner for 2. Materials. Let's lock that in. Lock in the gain. Where would I add a second position, you ask? Let's say, I think above the Z3 from here. U-Dow is working. Move the stop to here. Add a second position there. Walmart re-entry working. Second position, I think you got to put above, maybe that's Z3 right there. Triple leveraged S&P. I will add instantly and move the stop to here. Financials starting to run out of gas a little bit. So fall, summer, but that's starting to fade. So I think to protect this, I'm gonna lock in that gain there. Let's call it the belly of the dragon. Although I should have just exited that on Friday. In retrospect, the S&P. You just see the daily health check. So this is oil working, but move the stop to here. Diamonds working, move the stop to there. Russell moving there. Missed the second entry, should have been somewhere around in here when it broke that Z3. So I'll add a second position here. Going to move the stop to skin of the dragon. Brazil continuing to work from here all the way up, loving it. Add a second position to gives above there. You can we do a lot of trading on this one, so let me kind of clean this out of the clean this out of the way. Here's my stop. That's where I'll add a next position. Stop in second position in tech. So I'm going to cover this one separately, U.S. Steel. If you had gotten a swing in here, this should get you out. But I'm stalking this thing. As long as it makes the turn north of this green line, then the resumption back to here should be pretty good. But if it breaks below here, certainly below here, that's a fail. So now you can see we've gotten out of all the strength, and now we're into the tactical plays. Wheat and precious, I just do that intraday. You can see that was that was just so sweet, you can't stand it. Hybrid frog collapse, second leg down, sweet. So let's go back to so IYR to me is starting to show a turnaround, and so we bought this one here. It had like a 1, 2, 3 and crossed the 200 and found support, so it's playing a pretty tight stop. And this was really a hedge against weakness in the equities. And so I'm looking at fair value up here, but a measured approach to this staircase all the way up. I would stop and get short here, but I want to kind of lock in. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, so we're right up in here already. So I'm going to make this my exit. So let's put that exit like at the 1-day low. So if our entry was down here at like 90 and we're holding a couple bucks, and that was just a 50-cent stop, we're holding 3 execution hours already in a couple days, and I've reason to believe it could get through this hump of the dragon. So that's like a double hump right there at 93. That would be sweet. And then it's on its way to 96. The VIX. That's ready for a volatility spike move. So we'll just be watching that one intraday. So these are, and then Boeing just can't get out of their own way. We tried this after that big sell-off. So I'm still liking that, but man, I should have cashed that on Friday. That was being sloppy. So we got to let's bring a stop into no lose right here. If it has any weakness at all, we'll scratch and go short. Otherwise, we'll see, maybe back to the 200. Treasuries coming all the way back to here, to this base. So if we just extend this baseline over, to me, any recovery north of that yellow zone should be pretty good. Yeah, anything north of that should be okay. And then it gets to the 141 again. That's pretty tight. We're going to skip Wiz for a second. McDonald's still working, still like it. Heading here, then here. I mean, how do you not love McDonald's, for crying out loud? That's what we're playing to see when people realize they got to own McDonald's after that sell-off opportunity. We did a lot of trading in here, but now this swing is starting to work. Let's turn the corner. Cliff, been playing this tactically. It's so close to the 200, I'm just not sure what to do other than just start it with a hybrid frog. So Wiz, on the other hand, is looking good. So I bought this one early in a retirement account to start playing this as a learning about it going forward as a best of breed AI generated model of models. So I had a pretty tight stop on it, but I'm liking it so far. So we're up $1.50 on an initial risk of not very much, and I like that it's crossed over here. It's in the winter now, the spring. It's pretty well aligned with the S&P. Let's see, personal Wiz portfolio. So these are the components of it. Information tech, brilliant. Technology, brilliant. Investment grade corporate bonds, holding its own, paying a dividend. Daily fall. Mid growth index dominating. Mid cap momentum dominating. Large cap growth index, brilliant. Mobile payments ETF, just oddly attractive and working. And then corporate bonds holding. So I don't dislike any of those, and of all the the 2 out of the 8 positions that are income generating, gives it a little, calms down the volatility a little bit. Not in bad shape, so I kind of like where we are with this one. Since it's a retirement account, I think I want to lock in that gain. Okay, so all systems go. All right, let's count it Tortoise Capital. Keep your risk measured and your powder dry.